trying to change something instead of just trying to make it work. They're bigger battles, you know. The problem is, probably no matter what time it would be, I'd be rushing because I'm still at work no matter what. Like if I weren't here right now, I'd still be at work. So the interview Friday went really well. We talked for 2 hours. Wow. And then I just heard from the person in England today saying,
Good evening. Welcome to the Woodhaven-Brownstown Board of Education regular meeting of Tuesday, December 14th, called to order at 5:30 p.m. Mrs. Aber, could you please take roll?
Mrs. Pimer,
Here.
Mrs. Burton Kelsey,
Here.
Mr. Harris,
Here.
Mrs. Paget,
Here.
Mr. Burke,
Here.
Mrs. Bauer Perry, Mrs. Barry,
here.
Mr. Greathead,
Here.
Mr. Belcher,
Here.
Mr. Roberts,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mr. Salah,
Here.
Mr. Satterfield, Mrs. Benjamin. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I ask that you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and ask that you remain standing at the conclusion for a moment of silence in remembrance of the 4 students lost from Oxford High School and their community, and for the 7 individuals injured, including 1 teacher. Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the agenda. The suggested motion is to approve the agenda as recommended. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Burke, supported by Burton. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, we have hearing of the public. The Board of Education affords members of the community 2 opportunities to address the board at its meetings. The first opportunity is now, at the beginning of our meeting, to address any topics that do appear on tonight's agenda. The second opportunity is towards the end of the meeting and is reserved for items that did not appear on the agenda. The time limit for addressing the board is 5 minutes, and any individuals wishing to do so can fill out a comment card over by Mr. Belcher. I do have one here, and so we will get to that in just a little bit. Doesn't appear as if it's on the agenda. Our next item is the consent agenda. The suggested motion is to approve the consent agenda as recommended. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Barry, supported by Paget. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Next, I'll turn it over to Mr. Greathead for personnel.
Thank you. We have personnel recommendations this evening in the areas of professional staff, support staff, and Schedule B. Under professional staff, the suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the following professional staff recommendations en masse. Karen Makowski, Gudith Elementary School, second grade teacher, and Sarah Stahl, Special Services Social Worker. Both are effective December 15th, 2021.
Is there a motion? Motion by Harris, supported by Burke. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
All right, thank you. Mr. Roberts, would you please introduce?
I believe both are here tonight. Mrs. Makowski. Oh, Mrs. Makowski. Just to give you a little background, Ms. Makowski earned her BA in elementary education from Eastern Michigan University and has taken advanced coursework also through EMU. She has been at Airport Community Schools since 2000, where she has taught 2nd through 5th grades. And when she saw an opportunity to teach in the school district that she lives in and that her children attend, she couldn't pass it up. Mrs. Stahl is also here. Mrs. Stahl. Ms. Stahl earned her BA from Eastern Michigan University in Speech and Language Pathology and earned a Master of Social Work from Madonna University. And she completed an internship this past May for Gudith Elementary and is currently working for Northville Schools.
Next, under support staff, the suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the following support staff recommendations en masse. They are Cornell Davis, Patrick Henry Middle School Security Monitor, and Melanie Mokrensky, Special Services At-Risk Paraprofessional. Both are effective December 15th, 2021.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion by Harris, supported by Paget. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you. Mr. Roberts?
Mr. Davis is not able to be with us tonight, and I did not see Mrs. Mokrensky. No, that's hidden. All right. So Mrs. Mokrensky has worked as a caregiver for the elderly since 2010, and she earned her high school diploma from Woodhaven High School and an administrative assistant certificate from Detroit Business Institute.
Welcome. And then next is Schedule B. The suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the following Schedule B recommendations en masse. Anthony Kellerman, Varsity Softball Assistant Coach. Nicholas Frazier, Middle School Wrestling Assistant Coach. Kenneth Kroll, Varsity Softball Head Coach. And Shane Ricard, Freshman Boys Basketball Assistant Coach, all effective December 15th, 2021.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Barry, supported by Burton. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we do have a number of the coaches here with us tonight. Mr. Kroll is here with us. He has 16 years of softball coaching experience, most recently as the Michigan Generals coach. He attended Wayne County Community College where he became a certified EMT, and he has been with the City of Detroit Fire Department since 2010, serving as a senior firefighter / EMT. I did not see Mr. Chellman here, I did not see him. Mr. Frazier, I also did not see, but I did see Mr. Ricard here. Mr. Ricard has been coaching Woodhaven youth sports since the early 2000s, and he has experience with baseball, football, and basketball. He is a graduate of Bowling Green State University. We earned a BSBA in marketing, and he's worked at Ford Motor Company since 2006 as a manufacturing planning analyst. And we just hope that he and the head coach can get along for a little father-son combo.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Welcome to the district, to all of our new hires. We look forward to the positive contributions you'll make in the lives of each and every one of our students. Next up is our fall athletics update. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Picano and Ms. Flynn to the podium to provide a recap of the fall athletic seasons.
Good evening, everyone. School board, welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to present the fall sports summary. New to this, so I apologize. Gonna first of all say hi to my mom. She's watching virtually. So hi, Mom. I just need to throw that out there. So she's a big fan of mine, big fan of the Warriors. So the Warrior way, it's about the family, it's about everything. So thank you for the opportunity. All right, we'll start off with our boys cross country. Happy to say they were Downriver League champs. Our all-conference athletes, Andrew Whitman, Ben Schott, Jeremy Romero, and Justin Romero, team GPA with 3.58. Our girls cross country, they were also Downriver League champs. We had the entire lineup where they were all conference. Brianna Vojnov, Katie Dietrich, Peyton Scheffler, Brooke Barrage, Raylan McCaughlin, Delaney Arthur. We had 3 straight qualifiers. Brianna Vojnov, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Pardon? Vojnov. Sorry, Brianna. She placed 46th at the state meet. Katie Dietrich placed 85th. Peyton Scheffler was 79th. And there was 268 girls that qualified for the D1 state race, so our 3 qualifiers were placed well. So, and the team GPA, by the way, was our highest in the fall with the 3.9 team GPA. So great job, girls cross country, for being student athletes. Next is our varsity football team. They were Downriver League champs. They were 7-1 in the conference and 9-2 overall. They were state playoff qualifiers for their 6th year in a row. We had several Downriver League all-conference players: Cornell Perry, Ashton Moman, Darian Nunley, Devin Henry, and Matt Pabian. We had several all-region Devin Henry, Ashton Moman, Chris Banks, Nathan Blazak, Andrew Ewald, and Cornell Perry. And recently, the all-state list came out, and we had Devin Henry and Cornell Perry that were listed as all-state football players. The varsity football's team GPA was 3.27. Our girls golf placed 3rd in the Downriver League. Our all-conference golfers were Abigail Sacco and Emily Overton. Abby Sacco is a sophomore, and she's a 2-time state meet qualifier at the state final. She finished 28th this year out of 105 golfers. And the team GPA this year was also at 3.69. Our boys soccer team, they were the defending league champs, their 4th consecutive year in a row. They were 8-0-2 in the conference play and 13-4-2 overall. We had several all-conference players: Nico Smith, Reese Dion, Connor Hale, Dakota Clint, and Nolan Smith. We also had several all-district: Nico Smith, Dakota Clint, Dominic Motes, Dominic Leonardi, Nolan Smith, Reese Dion, Connor Hale, and Ricardo Chapa. Dakota Clint was all-state honorable mention, and the team's GPA was a 3.22. Next are our swimmers. They were 3rd in the Downriver League. Our all-conference swimmer is Zoe Behringer. The diving regional qualifiers: Lindsay Arnston, Kendall Haverlock, and Jaya Meeks. Team GPA 3.6. And this team is predominantly underclassmen, so the future is very bright for our swim team. Our tennis team was 5th in the Downriver League. Our all-conference athletes were Santino Ciati, Mike Boudet, and Sabit Islam, and their team GPA was 3.3. Our volleyball team, they were Downriver League champs, and they were undefeated in league play. Our all-conference athletes: Abby Wise, Elena Morani, and Brooke Hart. Our all-region athletes: Ella Thomas, Elena Morani, Lindsay Marlowitz, Brooke Hart, and Abby Wise. And Abby Wise was recognized as an honorable mention All-State athlete, and her team GPA was a 3.7. Next is our equestrian team. They placed third in this fall, and their team GPA was a 3.3. Next is our dance team. They had a team GPA of 3.31. They did not compete in the fall, but they are starting to compete this winter, so great job, dance team, with a 3.31 GPA. Our Sideline Cheer, it was a spirited group. I got to talk about this group a little bit because they were always had smiles on their faces, rain or shine, and it rained a lot near the end of the season. So the cheer squad, great job pulling through and spirited cheers, and it was fun to watch them cheer. Their team GPA is a 3.37. And with that being said, the Downriver League has all academic. And the criteria is there is being a 10th, 11th, or 12th grader on a varsity team and having a 3.3 cumulative GPA or higher. In the fall, we had 137 total varsity athletes. 93 of them have a 3.3 GPA or higher, and that means 68% of our fall varsity athletes were all academic recognized by the Downriver League, and that's impressive. And last but not least, the MHSA has a Scholar Athlete Award, and this award is it's eligible to any senior that is lettered in a MHSA sponsored sport that has a 3.5 cumulative GPA or higher. Now, we have 14 student athletes that were recognized by the MHSA, and this is because it was a application process. These student athletes went through the application process to be recognized by the MHSAA. These athletes will then go on through a process to be determined who's going to possibly receive an MHSA Scholar Athlete scholarship. So these 14 are going to be recognized as MHSA Scholar Athletes. And it's impressive because we have 14, and there's not many schools that have more than 12 representatives. So great job, Warriors. Great job, seniors, and especially to this class. For all that they've been through to be Scholar Athletes, I'm pretty proud of the senior class. So we're going to be saying that a lot. Thank you. And up next is going to be Miss Alicia Flynn with the middle school. Yep, go for it.
Thanks. I think so.
Good job.
One moment, sorry. Okay, there we go. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Picano. I'm going to talk for a few minutes about our middle school sports and our fall seasons. So middle school is a little different than high school. Our philosophy at the middle school level is for student athletes to participate, to explore, and to discover. This fall season, we had 7 teams, 194 student athletes, and 10 coaches. So first up is cross country. First, here's just some pictures of some of our students stretching, getting ready. Our boys and girls cross-country teams both won the Gabriel Richard Invitational, so here they are with their trophies celebrating. They were really excited about it. Pierce Scheffler is pictured here in the middle. Pierce actually broke a school record for the 3,200 meter race with a time of 11 minutes and 21 seconds as an 8th grader, so that's incredible. So big things ahead. Other things or other notable items from our middle school cross country. The boys and girls teams both won the Downriver League meet. Both teams, like I said, won the GR Invitational. They took second in the Monroe Jefferson Invitational with lots of PRs. With our middle school cross country, it is a no-cut sport, so everybody 6th, 7th, 8th grade is welcome to participate. Our coaches did a phenomenal job of really making it an inclusive environment for all students. We had buddy systems. They participated in groups leading stretches, and it was really great to see. So a special thanks to Coach Somerset and Coach Demjanovich. And then here's a picture of our jamboree that we actually hosted at BMS on October 12th. Very cool thing about that is we are the only Downriver League school at the middle school level to host a jamboree at our home facility. So it was awesome. We had Kona Ice. The kids loved it. So it was a great event. Next is our 7th grade volleyball team. So here's just some pictures of our team. In the middle, you can see a girl and her sister. So what we did with volleyball, Coach Maher and Coach Darnell, they invited some of the athletes' younger siblings who were there to watch to take turns sitting on the bench and feeling like they were part of the team, so really building that relationship. And then the coaches also, we came up with a thank you idea to give parents thank you letters. So here you see some of the girls going up into the stands after a game, giving their parents or loved ones thank you letters. So a couple things our student athletes had to say about volleyball season. Elena said, I loved everything about the volleyball season. I'm so happy I made the team. And then Bella said, the 2021 volleyball season was a great season of coming together as a team and learning and developing new skills. Coach Maher pushed us to be the very best we could be. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to play a sport I love for the best school. The girls went 11-1 at the 7th grade level. And from day one of practice to their very last game, and I know Mr. Smith can agree with me because he saw his daughter and the team play, they improved so much. It was awesome to see where they started, where they ended, to watch their progression drills. It was awesome. So thank you to Coach Maher and the girls. 8th grade volleyball, so here's just some pictures of them. Our 8th grade volleyball team went undefeated, so they were 12-0 this season. They won the Allen Park tournament, so the bottom right corner is them with their medals from the tournament. And you can see here Mr. G and Ms. Fonda, we had quite a bit of admin and staff support coming out to watch our student athletes, so that was great to see. Sanaya Robinson said, I loved the support and I had a lot of fun with my friends and my coach. And Ava Gray said, I loved playing volleyball this fall because I got to develop a bond with my teammates. I learned how important teamwork is and that it's hard to do anything without it. Again, a great group of girls, just an awesome team. So thank you, Coach Darnell, and all the girls for that. Next up is our 7th grade football team. So here's some pictures of the team. Up in the top corner, you can see Colton holding a hammer. Coach Wheaton and Coach Farner do a hammer award, which at the middle school level means so much to the kids. So every game, the hammer award goes to a different athlete who performed well at that game or showed exceptional sportsmanship or helped a teammate or did something above and beyond. So Colton's there holding the hammer award. So they love to rotate it and see who got it after each game. So Coach Wheaton actually gave me a quote that he was really, it was quite a year for our 7th grade football team, so I do want to take a minute and talk on it. But he writes that he hopes that they fell in love with the sport that he enjoys. He's proud of each and every one of the boys and looks forward to what their future holds. So in this picture, you'll see Cam, Lucas, Devontae, and Justin. So we had 6 games. Middle school football is a 6-game season. Through our 6 games, we had 4 serious injuries. So it started, Devontae broke his ankle. A week later, Cam broke his arm. Then Lucas broke his wrist. And then Justin broke his femur. So unbelievable things in a season. And I bring this up and I write about this because I was a teacher for 9 years, and now in this position, I learned so much from those 4 boys. Never once did they have a bad attitude. Never once were they down. They came to games. They sat at practices. They cheered on their team. They helped them with homework at lunch. So it was just outstanding to see the 4 of them, as well as their entire team, come together time and time again after everything that had happened. Coach Wheaton and Coach Farner did a great job of keeping them as a cohesive group. And then at the end of the season, we got new football helmets. So we took 4 of our old white helmets that we had in storage, and everybody signed them for these 4 boys. So they really loved that. But great kids, I can't say enough about how they handled everything. 8th grade football. So here's some pictures. Christian and Izzy and the team shaking hands at the end. Some words from our student athletes. Philip said, I learned to give more effort and work harder on the days that are harder to give effort and work hard. I can't be satisfied or else I will never get better. So to keep pushing himself. And Andrew Pridemore writes, I found the whole season fun, but the best part was the teammates I was able to play with. So they were a great group that really got along well. Both of our football teams went 4-2 this season, and they really improved on the field as well as in the classroom. So thank you to Coach Skip and Coach Dave. Here's some pictures of our Sideline Cheer. As you can see, we had a very big Sideline Cheer turnout. It was wonderful. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade girls across the board. In the bottom middle, you'll see a picture. This is the entire cheer program, so varsity down to 6th grade. They all participated in the middle school, or in the high school homecoming parade. And then the middle schoolers, the highlight of their season when talking to all of them, they loved that during the third quarter of the varsity football game, they got to perform. So they performed during the third quarter of that homecoming game, and have been working on improving their stunts and cheers. Carmen said, don't give up. When success doesn't happen, just wait and it will come. So a lot of the girls with their tumbles, just repetition, and it was awesome to watch them try and try again. Coach Bree said that it was wonderful adding 6th graders, and she can't wait to continue welcoming them into our Sideline Cheer family. So thanks to Coach Bree. And our last sport of the 7, co-ed soccer. So you can see Mr. Johnson and his team and some of our soccer athletes. Nick Doobie said, for the soccer season, I enjoyed learning more about soccer, becoming a better player. Elizabeth Wood said her favorite game was when they tied against Wyandotte. So they had had a couple games and not done super well. They're learning. They're a new group of students working together, and then they had a fantastic game and tied Wyandotte, and it was very exciting to see them so excited. Coach Johnson said the kids worked to get better. They put in effort and made great improvements. We had a great season. So thank you to all of them. A couple other things we did at the middle school level to really enforce the importance of student first, athlete second. So here's an 8th grade football study hall. I don't know that they loved it at the beginning, but they got done with school at 2:20 and needed to be occupied until 3 o'clock. So they had study hall with Miss Flynn. So here you can see some of them working on their math, and they are actually working. I didn't stage them for photos. So here they are working on their stuff. You can see some of the boys walked right over and helped others with their homework, because they made it a team goal after the first game that they were going to work on nobody being ineligible to play. And I'm proud to say they finished that season with nobody being ineligible to play. So here's that. Another thing that I found very exciting through my new role as the assistant athletic director, and I know it's been going on, but again, I want to highlight it because it's incredible. Elementary Championship Day. So we take our elementary students from Irving, Bates, Yake, Gudith, and Waginka, and the PE teacher picks 10 girls, 10 boys, whoever they get, and they come and they compete, and we run right here at Hall Road, and it's just an awesome event with, you can see we have some high school and middle school volunteers at the event. There were so many parents, just really cool stuff to see. And then a special thank you to, I should say this, Jake Hammerly and Becky Jablonski. They're our varsity boys and girls cross country coaches. They lined the field, like the path for this, what am I trying to say? They lined it so that we had a place to run, and then Jake did quite a bit of work at BMS, because in order to have a cross-country meet at your home, you really have to have the proper signage, the proper measuring, so they did a ton of work, so thank you to them. We took some of our middle school student athletes as well as our National Junior Honor Society, and myself and these kids, we went to Brownstown Township for their trick-or-treat trail, where we passed out candy and some Woodhaven swag. And then it was so cute, this little girl in the top corner, she actually came up and she said she goes to Woodhaven schools and she recognized the WB on the Frisbee and she wanted one. And then she's like, can I get glasses too? It was awesome, and her mom was there and said she loves the district and she wanted a picture. So it was a very cool experience, and the kids had a great time passing out the candy. And I do, again, because middle school sports are, for a lot of families, it's the first time their student athlete is actually in a school-sponsored sport. And our parents and families were absolutely incredible. I sent an email out. Our volleyball teams did a pink out the last game for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I sent the email to the parents as well. Hey, if you want to participate, wear pink. And you can see almost every parent from head to toe was dressed in pink for that game. It was awesome. The volleyball teams did parent versus student games. So you can see they posed for a picture, but up here you can see the parents playing against the girls in volleyball. It was awesome. Then some of our families with their cross-country athletes in the middle, and then Dante and his parents in the corner. But really, really great parent support across the board. And again, when you're in 7th and 8th grade and you can't drive yourself anywhere, you rely on your parents quite a bit. So it was wonderful to see. And I can't forget about our students. I was super impressed with the middle school student turnout, because again, at the middle school level, we're really focusing on participating, becoming part of something, discovering, exploring, and everybody feeling like that they're part of this bigger group. So many people. I told Zoe I was going to show this, and she gave me permission. But this is her 8th grade boyfriend, and she wrote, "I don't know anything about football. I just think number 24 is really cute." It was hysterical. Everybody loved it. Here's some of our younger siblings. So Ellie's little sister, Chloe Gerganis, and then you can see just some siblings across. I did ask some of our Patrick Henry choir students. So Morgan, Kaylee, and Sammy are in that top right corner. They came and sang the national anthem at one of our 8th grade games. So it was awesome to get them involved in another aspect as well. Students, just younger siblings of kids who were at the games, I had them help me take water to the officials in between the games. And then in the bottom right corner at our pink out, Taylor Hoover, when we told them we were going to do a pink out, they asked if they could all wear pink as well. So there you see both teams in pink, which was, again, something very cool to see at this level. And that is all. We have middle school sports run a little differently, so we're tying up finishing Winter 1 sports right now. Boys basketball and co-ed swim will finish this week. Competitive cheer will start competitions this week. And then after break, we're looking into girls basketball and wrestling. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Picano. Thank you, Ms. Flynn. Any questions from the Board of Education for either?
I have just two quick comments. First of all, both of these athletic directors are new to our district and doing a phenomenal job, absolutely phenomenal. I'm impressed with how you can recognize kids and know their names and all the things you're doing. Mr. Picano, I really appreciated you adding the GPA to your presentation. I think that's equally as important as all of the competitive wins that our district has. And Ms. Flynn, I think sharing your philosophy at the beginning of your presentation was really helpful for us to understand what middle school athletics is about, and the student quotes were phenomenal, so thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, under new business, is a facilities and operations recommendation. Or we do have two facilities and operations recommendations, both having been reviewed by the Facilities and Operations Committee. Continuation of third-party contractor employee incentive program. Mr. Belcher has shared information with the Board of Education on the success of the third-party contractor employee incentive program for the month of November. Each of our third-party contract partners saw a significant reduction in employee absences through the incentive program. The board originally approved the program to run through December. Based on the success of the program, the recommendation is to run through the first quarter of 2022. This program would be funded through ESSER dollars and would cost approximately $225,000 if all employees met the requirement. Approximately 75% of eligible employees met the requirement for November. The suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the continuation of the third-party contractor employee incentive program for the first quarter of 2022.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support. Motion by Barry, supported by Burton. Any discussion?
Just if we can track these numbers as many as possible. We really didn't get much information from at least I didn't, from Mike on the actual dollars that were being spent or the improvement till right now. But if we could at least track the dollars that are being spent and the percentage.
Okay.
I'd also like to discuss, and we can even start this at a committee level, but for other staff to include an incentive program, if you want to call it an attendance incentive program or however you like to call it, but I'd like to start a conversation about including other staff and employees into this.
Okay.
I know it might entail, I don't know if it entails negotiations or anything like that, but
Where do you see that starting? I mean, the facilities one, I think this makes sense because it's the contractor. Do you see it starting in HR, maybe? Okay. I was just curious where it would sit.
Yeah, that's what I would envision. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah,
fine. I was asking either one of you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else?
We did get some information, Mr. Harris, at our last bond meeting, and I know you were out of town. I don't know if it was included in our minutes. I'd have to go back and look and see in our minutes, but it was not an extensive report, but we did get a little bit of information.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is the school bus purchase. As part of our commitment to maintaining a safe and current bus fleet, we are recommending the purchase of 5 new buses for the 2022-23 school year. All 5 buses will be used for special education, and 4 of the buses will be the Thomas 77 passenger buses with air conditioning, and 1 bus will be a wheelchair bus also with air conditioning. The buses have been specified using the MSBO bus purchasing program and conform to all laws regarding bidding and purchasing. The sum total of this recommendation will be $592,581 and includes the purchase and installation of the Xeon 5 camera video system on each bus. The suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 5 school buses in an amount not to exceed $592,581 utilizing 2021 bond proceeds.
Is there a motion?
Support.
Motion by Burton, supported by Burke. Okay. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Technology recommendations. First one is bid pack number 2714 for voltage cabling, server, SAN, data center equipment, and video monitoring equipment. As part of our technology upgrades through the 2021 bond program, we are recommending low voltage cabling upgrades through Capricorn Diversified Systems, $142,800. The server, SAN, and data equipment center to Sentinel, $357,765.23. And video monitoring equipment to telecom technicians, $421,743.53. Working with Communications by Design, and this evening Carl is with us if the board has any questions. All work was solicited through the bidding process. Communications by Design and the Woodhaven-Brownstown School District have reviewed all bids received. The suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve bid pack number 2714 in an amount not to exceed $922,308.76, utilizing 2021 bond proceeds.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Burton, supported by Paget. Any discussion?
This one actually came in under budget.
It's always good.
Can you confirm when the work is going to start?
Is there a warranty on the equipment?
I'll have to defer to Carl with Communications by Design. He'll come help us with any questions that the board has.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the question. Could you repeat it, please? Is there a warranty on the equipment? Yes. The cabling, the low voltage cabling has a 15-year performance warranty associated with it based on the specifications. The server storage area system and the camera system have 5-year warranties associated with them based on the specified requirements.
When is this work scheduled to begin?
The work is set up to coincide with some federal dollars that we're going to also apply for as reimbursement potentially to maybe reduce this cost over time. But those rules are such that we wouldn't be able to start all the work that would be federal dollars until April. So we'll start some in January. It will roll into the spring, and we don't anticipate full completion because we want to try to capture some federal dollars for reimbursement into the early summer.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Next up is the 2022 Chromebook upgrade project. At the end of this school year, we will have approximately 3,620 Chromebook devices that are at end of life between the 5 elementary schools and Woodhaven High School. This recommendation is to purchase 2,070 11-inch touchscreen Chromebooks for our 1st through 5th grades, 1,400 14-inch touchscreen Chromebooks for our high school students, and 350 14-inch touchscreen Chromebooks for our instructional staff, all from C-High of Rochester Hills. The total amount of this recommendation is $1,404,264.60 and is in compliance with all specifications and bidding requirements and will be paid for utilizing 2021 bond proceeds. The suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the 2022 Chromebook upgrade project in an amount not to exceed $1,404,264.60, utilizing 2021 bond proceeds.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Motion by Paget, supported by Burton. Any discussion?
I'm hoping Mickey will tell us it came under budget again.
I can't remember. It's not over budget, it's under budget.
Okay, perfect.
Couldn't remember.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, all in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Under Superintendent's report, the following resignations have been accepted. Michelle Blakeney, Special Services Social Worker. Jonathan Drum as Varsity Boys Track and Field Head Coach. Andrea Gillum, Brownstown Middle School Special Services Teacher. Cameron Holloway, 7th grade baseball head coach. Aaron Schauer, Freshman Boys Basketball Assistant Coach. Joshua Sharp, Patrick Henry Middle School Security Monitor. And Robert Stockman, 7th grade Baseball Assistant Coach. Once again, we are deeply saddened and shocked at another school shooting, this time at Oxford High School. Like all school districts, the student and staff safety is a top priority for the Woodhaven-Brownstown School District. In the wake of the most recent event, the Woodhaven-Brownstown School District continued its ongoing review and improvement of its school safety procedures and practices. Our most recent district-wide crisis team meeting was held on November 9th, and our next district-wide crisis team meeting is scheduled for January 13th. One area of focus of these meetings is a review and where needed improvement of our school's reunification plans should a building need to be evacuated for any reason. In support of those efforts, on November 23rd, the Woodhaven Home Depot donated $1,000 to the Woodhaven-Brownstown School District to be used for supplies needed as part of our reunification plans. We have a number of factors that lead to safe, secure, and welcoming learning environments in the Woodhaven-Brownstown school districts. A few things to highlight include our strong relationships with Brownstown Township and the City of Woodhaven Police Departments, and our phenomenal school liaison officers. Officers Nowak and Zimmers build relationships with students and provide school safety expertise. Our district safety coordinator, Larry Williams, is a retired chief of police and serves as the main point of contact for school-related safety issues, trainings, and the crisis team. One of the most frequently cited best practices for school safety is threat assessment protocols and teams. The Woodhaven-Brownstown School District is a leader within Wayne County in this area. Through the work of our school psychologist, Mr. Mark Muscat, threat assessment training with a national expert was made available to all school districts in Wayne County through our coordination with Wayne RISA. Our threat assessment protocols and teams serve as a model for others to follow. The Woodhaven-Brownstown School District is also a leader in school social worker offerings. Every building in the school district has a full-time school social worker. Plus, we have a school social worker that serves as a family liaison. These individuals work with our administrators, counselors, and teachers to provide our students with the social and emotional supports that they need. As the Board of Education is aware, we implemented regular student mental health check-ins through our COVID-19 protocols going back to last school year. This school year, in all grades, we have been implementing in both small and whole group settings social emotional lessons through the second step curriculum. Additionally, throughout this school year, we are training all staff in mental health first aid. When a national walkout was circulating for Thursday, December 2nd, following the incident at Oxford High School, our administrative team worked with the student leaders, specifically at Patrick Henry and Woodhaven High School, to hold safe student activities on Friday, December 3rd. As part of that conversation with those student leaders, it was the student's suggestion to put our okay to say information on all Chromebook devices in the district. And also to create email accounts for WHS Cares and PHMS Cares as well. Other initiatives under constant review and revision include our security monitoring team. This school year, we added additional positions and hours to our security monitoring team. These individuals are key in building relationships with students, seeing our students safely through the school day, and making sure our secondary buildings are secure. We are in the process of renewing our ALICE Active Response Training and training the trainer models. As a school district, we hosted this training on site for all district crisis team members to be able to train those in our schools. In hosting that program, we also invited and had participants from Riverview schools and Trenton schools. These are just some of the highlights of our school safety initiatives. I'd like to thank the Board of Education for its support, both in the past and going forward, in all of our school safety and student well-being initiatives. I will be meeting with district administrative team tomorrow. One of our topics will again be school safety. We will be discussing current protocols and any needed changes. I will, of course, let the Board of Education know of any supports that are needed. And finally, as part of my superintendent's report, I'd like to extend a warm holiday greeting, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the entire Woodhaven-Brownstown School District community, thanking them for their support, especially over the course of the last almost 2 years now. Thank you.
Okay, our next. Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is hearing the public. I do have one comment card. Brittany Olmstead, if you'd like to come up to the podium. And if there's anybody else that would like to speak, again, the comment cards are over by Mr. Belcher.
I'm gonna go ahead and just push this to the side so I can put mine here. Was that okay? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I got it. Okay, I timed myself, so let's make sure I can do this. All right, are you ready? Okay. Each day, 8 children die from gun violence in America, and 32 are shot and injured. Guns are the leading cause of death among American children and teens, even more so than drowning. Since 1970, the U.S. has had 1,316 school shootings, and 18% of those have happened after Sandy Hook in 2012. Almost all of these school shooters planned the attack in advance, and in nearly all school shooting cases, the warning signs were clear, but proper measures were not taken to prevent these tragedies from happening. The recent Oxford tragedy proves that our school system is failing to protect our kids. I am here as a concerned parent because I do not want my children or yours to become part of the growing number of children killed or injured by the history of gun violence that we could have avoided. I am here because I want to drop my kids off at school without fearing that one day it could be the last time. I am here because I want my boys to worry about passing their math test, not fearing they are unsafe in a place that should only be meant to protect them and watch them grow. As a parent, the ultimate goal is to keep our children safe. And without change in the safety system of our school, violent acts like Oxford will continue to occur. It will not be a matter of if another shooting will occur, but when. When 9/11 happened, we changed the way we flew. Additional security measures like upgraded metal detectors prevented a tragedy of that scale from happening again. When Columbine happened, Sandy Hook followed. And when Parkland happened, now Oxford has followed. The research shows that the number of school shootings continue to rise. And if 9/11 was enough for our country to take further action and protect our airports, at what point are we going to be fed up with innocent kids dying to yet another school shooting and take action to protect our schools? In New York on December 2nd of 2021, a single impromptu metal detector found kids with 21 weapons on campus. I challenge you to ask yourself, how many weapons are in our school? We don't know. While placing metal detectors in our school would not entirely solve the issue, it would help violent weapons from getting inside. If there were metal detectors at Oxford, Ethan would have never been roaming the hall with a gun in his bag, and 4 families would not be planning a funeral. Experts in the field say metal detectors also could have prevented Columbine and countless others because many shooters walk right in with their guns. To save time and be more efficient, metal detectors can be adjusted to not flag, computers, jewelry, phones, and other objects of this nature. With this, an additional factor to consider is always cost. Consider this. Varsity football helmets cost around $12,000 for the entire team. One company that I spoke to offers school packages that retail for $6,200 but are currently selling for $3,000. An average middle school needs 3 to 4 detectors. Therefore, for the cost of football helmets, the entire school could have this additional and proven safety measure. Consider this as well. If a school shooting occurs, school leaders could be held liable by a civil court, which is currently happening as a result of Oxford. The average cost to a U.S. employer when an employee is killed is $4.6 million. With these statistics, proactive measures like the metal detectors could contribute to these costs being avoided. Mental health should be a priority. Currently, Michigan ranks 49 out of 50 states for mental health services in our schools. This leads to a decrease in the number of crucial mental health services like psychologists and counselors that could contribute to tragedies like these being avoided. If kids are flagged at all on any risk assessment that we do, they need to take a leave of absence from school and not be able to return until they have been cleared by an outside counselor. It doesn't happen in 24 hours, and it doesn't happen in 48 hours. My final point is that mandatory gun safety classes should be held in school. Over half of the guns used in school shootings came from home, a relative, or a friend. Important things to include in these educational safety courses are gun safety for kids, resource pamphlets for families, and gun trigger locks similar to the ones that are handed out at the police station for free. These low-cost efforts would contribute to promoting safety not just at home, but at school. I recently spoke to the mayor's office, who agreed that an outside company would be beneficial to review all of our safety measures, as I currently don't believe the ones we have are enough. Running the same lockdown drill year after year, where everyone in Woodhaven knows our safe spot, is not enough. The CEO of Alice just recently made a statement that Alice is not enough. We can do more to prevent these. A positive educational environment cannot happen without doing better for the safety of our children. It's time for us to demand more. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you speaking tonight. Thank you. Agenda is to recess to closed session. Board member comments. I skipped.
I just have, I'll tell everyone that we have a finance meeting after the board meeting today. As a parent of a student in choir and band, we had the band concert last week. That was really, really great to be at, and choir concert is Thursday, so I'm excited to see you there. Excited to see that, so, and then I'll just, I don't have a written statement like Mr. Greathead did, but, thank everybody for all their work this year, and happy holidays, and stay safe, and that's it. Thank you. Thanks.
I would just like to offer personal thanks to Mrs. Abear, Mr. Greathead, Mrs. Pageant for the very nice and thoughtful message they sent to our house. It made my wife feel very happy and proud. And I just want to thank you. I thought that was a wonderful thing to do. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I am very proud of what the district has done regarding our safety measures. I think we continue to improve them. We continue to look at them, which we always should do. But I send now 2 kids, formerly 3, to this school district every single day, and I wouldn't if I didn't believe that we were doing everything we could to keep them safe. So thank you to everybody for continuing to work on it every day.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, our next item, item 10, is to recess to closed session for appeal of final disposition of student discipline case number 2021-22-007. Is there a motion?
Support.
Motion by Burton, supported by Barry. Any discussion? Okay, If not, all in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and as everybody said, have a great holiday. Our next board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January 11th at 5:30 PM here at the administration offices.
is,
Yeah, we're returning to open session at 7:30 PM.
all right, thank you. Having considered the 7 factors as required by statute, the suggested motion is that the Board of Education uphold the expulsion of student 2021/22-007.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Burton. Supported by Paget, is it? Supported by Paget. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the recommendation as stated signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Should we adjourn the meeting? Okay. With that, we'll adjourn our meeting at 7:31 PM. Next meeting scheduled for Tuesday, January 11th at 5:30 PM.